Okay. It's not that I don't like the new NSP song, it's that I don't like it as much as Thunder and Lightning. Like Thunder and Lightning came out big, bold, and strong. It was the comedy that I love the most from NSP. And
Not
when
sad comedy.
yeah, and when
This next
yeah, I
one is
guess
about like Shaft comedy. This one was nutsack comedy.
with Wondering Tonight, it's I don't know. I just didn't like it as much. It wasn't as bombastic.
Well, no, what I think what I liked about it was
However,
so when,
I will say my favorite line from the song is a quote or a term I would like to use in regular everyday life, and it is snarfing on my hog. Whose hog are you snarfing on tonight? I think
that's the ending line.
it's so good. I've never thought of the phrase snarfing on a hog, and goddamn, do I love it so much.
So what I like about it is that like Thunder and Lightning came out and it sounded like 80s classic hair metal kind of rock deal. And then this one is like the ballad that the band eventually does anyway. Like every band in the 80s did. Every band in the 80s that wasn't like Slayer or something has like a ballad where they sing like "You're stupid, every rose has its thorn" thing that you make fun of all the time. Like
Every rose.
Poison does not sound like "Every Rose Has Its Thorn" all the time, but you make those types of songs. So I thought it was really cool, and I mean, I don't care for what the song's about, but it's funny to me. So,
It's funny. It's just not one that I rock.
I
And
mean,
you
Thunder
know,
and Lightning still plays right after it, and I get hyped. So
yeah. And one thing that's always held true about everything is that the best songs are never released as singles.
which I will be surprised if Thunder and Lightning is still not one of the best off that album.
Yeah, I said that, and then I thought like Cool Patrol was one of the best songs off of Cool Patrol.
I don't know if I'd put it top 5.
On the Cool Patrol album?
But like the thing is,
Not in the top 5 songs of the album for which the album is named?
Yeah, like honestly, like
Are you sitting? No, hold on.
I think as a single for Cool Patrol that came out as like a music video, I think "Eating in the Shower" is better than Cool Patrol.
Cool Patrol, best songs on it. Cool Patrol, Orgy for
Right?
Cool Patrol, Orgy for One, Danny Don't You Know, Release the Kraken. First Date's good too.
Mm-hmm.
I like Heartboner.
See,
Courtship of the Mermaid is good. Fuck, man, you're right.
Yeah, no,
oh,
I was like,
no,
Cool
I
Patrol
hate
ain't
it.
even top 5.
Oh my god,
It's such a good song, but Cool Patrol ain't even top 5 on that album. That album was fire.
You're I forgot how
even
stacked
the skit,
this was.
"Go Fuck Yourself" is a little bit better than most of the songs. Like, I say "Go Fuck Yourself" makes, and I'm quoting a song. I'm not cussing because I can. I'm quoting a song.
The song is GFY.
Yeah, but it's a cheerleading thing.
GOFUCKYOURS elf. Jeez, that's a lot of letters. Boy, I wonder what it spells.
All right, we went on NSP rant for like the first 10 minutes of this podcast.
It's been 3 minutes, but
Has it? Wow, that felt like a long time.
yeah, we're gonna roll this into our tasty jams. But I know we shouted out NSP last week. As you can tell, they have another new song out. Go give it a listen
Isn't
yourselves.
the album out today? When's the 16th?
Friday.
So the album's out today.
Yeah.
Yeah, go listen to it because we're going to talk about it next week,
Yeah.
or maybe we might be doing something else.
That'll probably be in place of our tasty jam. We'll talk about that album.
We could review the NSP album.
Oh god, you know.
We'll talk.
We'll get there.
We'll talk.
That's where I have made the resolution to not make promises for content during other recorded content because then you're like held accountable for it. When I mean it's true, you're held accountable for it, which is good. It's just if it's still in the planning stages or if it's in the maybe we'll do this, definitely don't say we're gonna do it.
Maybe we'll review the album, or maybe we'll just geek out over it for 20 minutes.
But rolling into our tasty jam of the week, Dice, you've got yours locked and loaded. Go ahead and let it fire.
Oh, speaking of fire, I got off the Daddy Fat Snaps train for a while because
For a week.
for a while.
Okay, all right.
I'm gonna say, you want to talk about my last couple of tasty jams, because I've specifically not looked at Daddy Fat Snap songs to be like, okay, I can't bring that in, because once we started the playlist, I was like, I can't just put nothing but Daddy Fat Snaps in. However, Daddy Fat
Asterisk.
Snaps hit 300,000 subscribers, and he put out a fire track getting off all this anger and comments and stuff like that off his chest, and I don't know who this verbal assault rifle was aimed at and he let loose on, but there is nobody remaining. It's called "Imposters Among Us" by Daddy Fat Snaps. It is the most fire goddamn song I've heard him put out in a long time. Like maybe since the
It's
Dio rap.
it's him clapping back at the haters.
It's
That's
yes,
all it is.
it is.
And that's not a bad thing either. It's him saying, "Yo, I'm at the top for a reason. Look at well, not the top, but like I'm.
He's
Don't doubt this shit.
Don't doubt him. Like
Don't doubt this."
my God, like I said, I don't know who it's about. I don't know any of the beef, and I know it's just some of it's talking about the comment, the line. Well, that is my opinion. That opinion is fucking stupid. I loved it. It made me happy. But I even tweeted that at Daddy Fat Snaps, and then Daddy Fat Snaps not only retweeted me, but he talked to me, and it was the best thing ever. And everybody at work was like, yeah, I remember when I did this with like a big famous all-star person from a sports team, or I did this with an actor and he talked back to me. And I'm like, I'm excited for this 300,000 subscriber dude on YouTube to talk to me, because this dude is monstrous. If you don't know him, if you haven't paid attention to me bragging him up for
If you haven't
weeks,
paid attention to me,
go listen to Daddy Fat Snaps. It's not an anime song. He took a break from the anime, the horror. He let you know that this man has bars and he is not afraid to put you under the fucking scope. And that's where I wanted to cuss. I waited that whole time for that.
I mean, you didn't wait that long for that.
I did. I went on my rant. I'm
Yep,
at the end of my tasty
You did
jams.
not say the F word at all in this podcast until that moment. You waited so long. My tasty jam is going to come from, finally, Reason released a new album. Top Dog Entertainment did not hold his album hostage any further. It's finally out on all streaming platforms. As I mentioned, Reason is a member of TDE, which also houses Schoolboy Q, Absol, Isaiah Rashad, the R&B singer Sir, who also really deserves a tasty jam, but maybe some other day. And most notably, I think I don't remember if I said Kendrick Lamar already. Kendrick Lamar is the big head of big top dog at TDE. But Reason released a new album. It's called New Beginnings. It's pretty good. The album itself definitely has its highs and its lows, but the song that I'm recommending is Fall. Fall is a song about just trying to become an artist and all the pitfalls you can fall into. It starts with a verse about, she just want to be an artist, but your biggest obstacle is that you are a woman in the rap game. And he has lines about, like, you're trying to find a manager who will get behind you without trying to get behind you. And then the second verse is, he just want to be an artist. And he actually references how as you get bigger, people are just going to try to surround you with yes men and people who are, going to hype you up, but don't actually have your best interests at heart. And you're going to end up, one of the lines, I can't remember what he rhymes it with, but he basically makes the analogy of you're going to be the next Mac Miller.
Mm-hmm. I think I heard that as I was getting in your car today.
Yeah, that was one of them that was playing. So it's a really good song. I recommend listening to it. The rest of the album is good enough to warrant at least a listen through. If there's one other song that I could recommend off the album, it would probably be honestly, it would it would be I Can Make It, because Rhapsody's on that track. And Rhapsody, holy shnikes. That is a female MC who should be like at the top of everyone's list.
I'll have to listen to her.
There's not a lot of female MCs who can make me stop and go like, you.
Fire.
Absolutely fire. Rhapsody's up there. Oh gosh, who else? Belial.
I can't remember the one.
Or not Belial.
I can't remember the girl who kept doing a couple songs with Tech. She did like the one with
Snow the Product.
Yeah, Snow. Snow was fantastic.
Snow has good flow.
She's a lyricist, which is why I'm biased.
Yeah. I saw her freestyle on a radio show, because when I was really into like watching freestyles of artists, it wasn't very good. But
hey, my freestyles aren't very good, so I respect if you can still write it. I respect you. And I proved it, because no. So, and then is that all for your tasty jam?
Yeah, that's it.
All right. The spooky jam of the week.
Spooky jam of the week.
I'm not going to do horrorcore this time. I told you I'd get off the Juggalo stuff and the underground music. There's been one that's been stuck in my head all week, and I completely forgot about this song until my buddy at work put it on a playlist. I am recommending Brains by, and I hope I'm saying it right, Voltaire.
I think it's just Voltaire.
Voltaire. Brains by Voltaire. It's from an episode of The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy. It's about when the meteorite alien from outer space comes and he gets Billy to bring all the people in town to him, and it's just like a big musical episode. It take all 5 minutes of the thing is the whole episode.
Man, I love that show.
It was and that's it. Like I remember the show, and as soon as I heard it, I was like, I have to go listen to this. To the point where I went down to the escape room after hearing it, and I probably annoyed the crap out of some people because I kept singing it without realizing it. But it is a fantastic song. I love his voice. I didn't even know who he was until recently, but apparently he sang a lot of songs from like Billy and Mandy and stuff like that. So
That's dope.
I'm really excited to share that one with you guys. Go check it out, especially if you're a fan of old Cartoon Network. Really simple, really easy. There's not much to go on that one. Not a lot of artists like
Yeah.
last week's.
Without further ado,
Let's
let
get
us
to the point.
let us get to the title of the podcast and write a horror movie.
We're gonna finish this horror.
So to recap so far, the Salty Lads are in the middle of recording are about to record Salty Talks 16. We've enlisted this very creepy abandoned house. Well, not quite abandoned, but
Yeah, it has one butler.
it's one butler in it.
Very shining.
We've enlisted this house, and we are going to record in it for a big spooky shoot for all of you lovelies. However, there's one room that Dice isn't allowed to go in, and against his better it was with what his judgment told him to do. He went into the room, knocked over an urn, a bunch of sand and ash spilled out, and he quickly, GTFO'd. He leaves the house, but not before a little bit of that ashy sand sweeps into the AC vents in his car. He inhales a little bit of it, and we get our first look at this sand monster, hive mind, shapeshifter thing
In the basement.
in the basement.
And that is day one complete.
So I think there we get a little flash of the basement, but we don't actually we don't go into the basement.
No, like
yet.
I said, I think we see the sand like seep in through the door, seep it into my car, and then it like just from the window of the basement, you just see a shadowy figure that's moving sand particles around it with the eyes that open.
And then over the next 7 days, spooky things begin happening as we begin shooting. The one that we referenced last week was there was the stereotypical Southern accented gentleman who was like,
Maine accent. He's not
Maine?
Southern. Maine, yeah, because I'm pretty sure it's from Maine because it's the guy who always
do
has
that
the
accent.
You don't want to be caught going down over there. No, sir. No, you don't want to go up that way. That way, nobody.
How is that a
ever
Maine
I
accent?
swear to God, it's about Maine. I swear to God, it's from Maine.
Are you like the
Maybe I'm
northern
wrong.
Maine?
Maybe I'm wrong.
Like Maine is close to Canada. If anything, I
know
would
what-
expect him to have a little bit of this type of accent. Oh, you don't want to go up there? No, sir.
Give me just keep you keep doing it. I'm gonna
Sure.
I'm gonna find because it's the guy from Pet Cemetery, and I keep thinking about him. I can't remember his name.
So the dude does not rent us the audio, lighting, and sound equipment that we need, and that all really sucks. So we leave. We decide to come back, but during that time, the sand monster changeling kills the guy or gets rid of him. You said you wanted him to be like completely torn asunder.
It's what I was saying. So what I was trying to establish is we need to figure out reasons why he would keep some people for the hive mind, and the creature would keep some people for the hive mind, and not keep some for other reasons, and would just
So-
maybe it just has to feed sometimes.
It could be that it has a pet that
We're gonna bye man this
that
shit.
does the killing. Does the Bye Bye Man have a
Bye man has a dog that you know nothing about. You
What
learn-
if we had a dog that you did know about?
Sure.
We also talked about, let's just say,
I
either the monster or something associated with the monster has to feed, and it's doing horrific shit. Or what if we inserted tropes from other movies into all of these unfortunate things?
like shoot me
So,
some-
I'm sorry?
so shoot me something.
So, like, in this case, you want this guy to be torn asunder. What is a classic monster movie or a horror movie that you love that has a monster in it that tears people apart?
The funniest part about this is monster movies are probably my least favorite type of horror movies.
Oh wow.
I like killers. I like slashers. I'm very stereotypical.
Okay, then maybe it's a slasher. Maybe you see.
No, I mean it's cool. We could think about.
In
I
this-
want
I was
to be
saying-
the and if guy.
Yeah, I was saying in this example, it would be in the background you see
We could have
Jason
something like
pop out
we could
and-
have like the so it could be I don't know for what reason, whatever form this thing takes, it could like form behind the guy and pop its like it could extend its mouth through the guy's chest like an alien. Like
Yeah.
yeah.
Like that kind of that blah, 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 blah. Yeah, like that kind of stuff.
Hold up, cunnilingus. Yeah, that.
Oh,
But
just
yeah,
look
no,
at your phone.
I'm looking for the guy. Okay, his name is Fred Gwynn. Herman Munsters. Oh wait, that was the Munsters. That was not what I was talking about.
Is the Monsters your favorite monster movie?
This is my favorite monster movie. Fuck it. I swear he's from Maine, but fuck it.
Okay,
Um,
great. I'm
yeah.
glad that
So
that whole
we could have
tangent-
him just like get aliened on screen, and then he just falls behind the desk. But why would his son be? We'd have to come back for some reason, so it'd have to happen when we weren't there.
What if it happens really fast? Like you said, you want it to be like it's gonna be a comedy. Well, it's a horror movie in the background, but we get the comedy. What if the guy goes to, like, take the trash out back and he tells his son to step in and help? We see like out the window like his son walks up, he's like, hey, oh, I'm sorry, hey, I know you guys, you're them Sausage Entertainment Fun Boys, and we're like, yeah, and we start talking him up about doing this shoot at the haunted house. Out the window, we see the dad get aliened and like taken away. So he's not there anymore. Like maybe if this is associated to our person, maybe they get captured and taken back to the house. But the son's like, well, I don't see my dad out here, so I don't see why we couldn't do this deal.
Yeah, there we go.
And then that's how that works. So there we get the dad out of the way, and the son didn't know anything about it. And I assume it's still an older guy. He would probably be like our age.
I like being able to establish that the monster can kill things, and then even after it eviscerates or kills, it can still take that form.
Okay.
So no matter what, if it just kills it off screen with the alien, blah, and then takes it away, and then later on we might see that at the house. If that's where the hive mind is going to live.
Perfect. So we established that would happen on one of the days. We also established that you were going to have, because it slightly possessed you, you were going to begin having flashbacks about other people who are currently in the hive mind, with obviously the penultimate one being the original brain.
Whatever killed the monster, or whatever brought this monster to.
Yeah, and whatever we get to that, that's going to be the hardest part of this movie.
Yes.
Is figuring out how to fit the man is the worst monster of them all.
I mean, it's not going to be the hardest part if we just go the most cliche routes we can.
I don't, but I mean, I still, as much as this is like cliche and tropey, I still want to.
I know.
I want to make something I'm proud of at the end of the day.
I'm still trying to put my
I
heart into
consider
it.
myself a writer. I think we can do something cool here.
So for like each day, it doesn't have to be a long horror movie. So the first day is just a lot of us setting it up with what we said, and then the second day could be us trying to take care of that. Maybe we get the scene of us going to get food and things getting taken in the background randomly as we're just discussing what's going on, making jokes and things. And then end of the night comes for day 2, and I start getting weird headaches. And during the time that we were shooting and stuff like that, maybe I've caught glimpses of the eyes here and there, but I just kind of shake it off. Maybe I'm like, I smoked too much. It's cool. My character could smoke.
Yeah, he can. He's a cool dude.
He's a cool dude who don't need no man.
Cool, man. That I like that addition to your character as well.
Why?
Because you need me.
Aw.
That's right, bitch.
Aw.
So
Independence is a character trait.
codependence is awesome.
Sad November.
So we also established kind of what would happen after these days, just to kind of, because we can get this little filler part, but just to kind of see where we're heading. The very last day is going to be when we're shooting the talks. We see some of the people that we had been talking with before, and the kind of the turning point is going to be Dice seeing that guy from the audio equipment place that got taken first going down into the basement. Dice is going to follow him because he's curious. Dice finds I'm going to call it the Elder Brain room. And at that point, that's where you get, like, because its power is so immense, you get the final flashback of what happened to this person. And at that moment, that's what causes you to turn. That's the final point. The smoke and ash envelop you, and you get like you keep mentioning like the eyes flashing. You're gonna see that on you, and then we're gonna go up, and that's probably gonna put us into the last 10 to 15 minutes of the movie where the climax happens.
Yeah, that was all pre-established.
Well, we were doing a recap first,
No, I know. I
and
mean,
I want
we
to.
pre-established. I was making the joke that we pre-established that before we started the podcast.
Oh, okay, I see. I'm sorry. We did a little brainstorming during the break.
Yeah,
we want to get this one locked and loaded.
So we have what is going to be the climax, but we need to we need to write the climax, and we have what leads us to the climax and the people who we associate with. And I mean, the hardest part is the comedy bits are all just going to come naturally. Like we can't just write jokes for this thing. Like we just kind of do little natural comedy things that we've been doing with the kid and stuff like that, or the alien off-screen deaths. I
Yeah.
think I believe that one of the days should be we've gotten the equipment. Now we need to get people,
Like
So-
extras and shit.
extras, so we don't have to worry about cameras and things like that. So we put up flyers and stuff, and we're hoping to get like 5, maybe 7 people at the most.
And by the time we're doing Talk 16, we're already like established that we're famous enough to be able to rent out this historic old manor. So we're expecting, how many people are you expecting? Like, I assume this would be happening in the Pittsburgh area. But, I don't know. I expect maybe 80 to 100 people. Is that fair? Or is that too many?
So I would say it's too many, because like I think the funniest part would be we would expect low, even though like we may have a little bit of money, but it does not ultimately mean that we have all kinds of fans around us.
Okay.
So I would expect low numbers, something that like we're planning on getting through the day faster. So like we go do this real quick, it'll probably take 5 hours of our time, and then we can go get this part out of the way.
Okay.
And
So
then-
in the beginning of the scene, then we come into like a waiting room and there's maybe 20 people sitting around.
so I would expect 20, and then we get 50 to 80.
Oh, and
or
they're just
something like
packed
that.
into this big
And
room.
they're packed into this big room, and we're dreading it and everything. Like I'm dreading losing time and missing everything. You're dreading having to talk to people.
Wow.
I mean,
At me.
well, we're playing ourselves.
Friggin' at me. Jesus.
She has already got his personality face on. Jack's like trying to like keep happy while also fighting off the not wanting to talk to people.
Yeah, and we smile and wave, and we're like, "Oh, excuse us, guys. We'll be starting here in just a couple of moments. Please get yourselves into an orderly line." Yada yada yada. And then we all
No.
get in the room, and we have like, wow, there's a lot. And while we're walking, I want there to be like some sand or ash like falling off around you, and you start seeing it like kind of billow out in the bottom of the room. You see like the little smoke tendrils start going around people's shoes.
And then we just like as we get to the front of the room, we'll just be like, okay, the first 10 come with us. We're gonna talk in here real fast. Just this one. Let's go. And then we all pile into the room. And then I think just you don't see us talking to people or anything like that. You just see the horror of the monster coming in and just forming around all these people and just killing them group by group almost, and then taking them off place to the house.
So what I kind of envisioned was like it's, you know how there's the one-sided mirrors? I kind of imagine it like that, where like there's a big mirror here, and we're like, you can see the shot of us sitting in front of it, and like you can see into the back of the room, or like it's off to the side so that the people were in auditioning can't see it either. But like the shot of it, you look through that window and you see
Yes.
oh, maybe our videos are done transferring. You see the smoke coming up through the window, and you can see people like hacking and coughing on it, like it's slowly choking them to death, and you see them like falling down beneath that like windowsill technically to where the wall is. And then at the end of the audition, we open the door and there's nobody in the room.
I like it. I really do. My brain went a different way with it because since we don't actually have to make this movie, I'm not thinking about a budget.
Okay. As the treasurer, though.
Do you remember the movie that just recently came out, maybe like a year or two ago? It's about like the spy agency. They're called like the Gentlemen or something like that.
Kingsman?
The Kingsman, and it has that big scene where it's like 2 of them fight the entire room full of people using any weapons they can find, like the flagpole and
Yeah,
stuff
yeah,
like
yeah.
that. And it all plays to, I think it's Leonard Skinner's Freebird. So we just play a song in the background as soon as the door shuts, and it's just like almost a recreation of that, but it's just a monster
Oh.
going freaking ham on everybody.
I mean, is it like eviscerating people?
Well, that's it. Like I said, if we can establish that no matter what it does to the people, it can reform and take their shape just from killing them.
That's fair.
I think that would be funny. I am also cool with the
So
choking
then
out
when
scene
we-
and stuff like that.
when
For a
we-
more realistic thing, I think that would be better. But I think if we're gonna do comedy in it too, I think that would be hilarious.
Can we do that in another day scene? Just because this would be like what, day 3 after it's been unleashed.
Yeah. Ooh, I'm sorry.
By day 3, I don't feel like it should be at full power yet.
Yeah, but that okay. I mean, yeah, okay. So this could, I mean, that could be your suction plan could be what makes it full power for day 4.
And maybe.
I just don't know what we're gonna have that many people at.
So what else would we have to do to get? So we would have the extras at that point, and we would have the.
The joke being when we come back out and there's nobody there.
Yeah,
Just
it's like, oh.
oh wow, the day just really opened up for us. Now we can actually get lunch or something on the way there.
Yeah, I guess you 5 are. Congratulations, you 5 got the job. Meet us here the day before the shoot, and then that's when we establish that scene. It's like meet us there, be there and ready by noon, because then what we can do is we can show up late, and they could already have been like inducted into the hive mind, and then they're like maybe they slowly lead us down into the basement one by one. They're like, oh yeah, the guys are already here. They started shooting down in the basement, and they can try to separate us, and that could be a really fun scene. But we'll get there. So then I really want that like evisceration thing to happen. I'm trying to think of, like you said, it would have to be another space with a lot of people. What else would we need to throw this salty talks? What if Seft Fest 12 is happening at the same time? and then the hive mind could just get a whole sea of Xanders.
It'd be hard to be the final girl. Huh. Okay. Well, I mean, we just don't have to use that scene. That's just it. If it's impossible to put in, then we don't dwell on it. We just keep going with what we have, and we just don't use the scene if we can't fit it.
Can that happen? Yo, no. That scene that you're talking about, that is the scene of Xander getting out. So like we established that Xander is the final girl. Xander goes down, sees the hive mind, and is like, oh shit, I need to get out of here. But he does it in that, nonchalant, not sarcastic, ironic kind of way, I guess. Dry humor is what I'm trying to get
Very dry humor.
at. And he
Xander's
like
the king of dry humor.
he walks out of the basement, goes up. I assume it's connected to the kitchen. I don't know why. I feel like most basements are connected to kitchens.
Yeah.
Actually, probably historically, that's because you would store like stuff like down in the cold areas of your
Yeah. So
basement.
you can just get to it easier.
That's smart. Anyways,
Anyway.
sorry. You get up and like he gets up to the kitchen, and then you see like all of the hive minds standing there, and they all just turn and look at him, and he goes, "Uh-oh." And then that's when the big fight scene comes out of like he, grabs a kitchen knife and begins slashing
And
through.
Skibbity would play.
Skibbity wop pow. Skibbity.
It would be perfect.
Or dude, Hypno Dancer would work. He hypno dances his way out of the house.
He doesn't even grab a weapon. He just hypnotizes the entire hive mind
He thrusts his hips so hard, and the sound waves just cause all the sand to go.
and eviscerate people. Just start blowing up from.
I think that's the big action improvised fight scene.
There we go.
I knew there was a way to get
We
there.
just switched the characters who needed to do it.
Yeah, because and then Xander gets out of the house and escapes, but like even though you see like everybody evaporates into sand and stuff or dissolves into sand, and then as he's driving away, you see like the butler starts slowly like the sand begins reforming his body in the doorway, and then that's when you like pan up to the upper window and you see all of us other salty guys just like watching the car as it goes down the driveway. And then the after credit scene is like 1 year later, the footage gets released, and Xander's like, "What? I thought everybody in the house was dead. How is this footage here?" And then we set up the sequel of him having to kill the hive mind if we want.
Well, that we need it because that's one of the tropes we set for ourselves. So we have to do the or is it ending.
Yeah.
So we have day 1, 2 done. We have day. I think. Well, if we set it up that we need something more for day 3 for the second half of it.
Is there something that maybe on one of these days, we're not doing something specifically for the talks, but we're just hanging out doing something. The first thing that came to my mind was like we go on a hunting trip. It's not going to be a hunting trip because I couldn't see us all going on a hunting trip, but like you see a deer off whatever.
As the only hunter in the group, yeah,
We're going
I
skeet shooting. That's something that we would all find fun. Probably we like shooting guns.
yeah,
I like shooting guns.
I like shooting guns.
So we go like skeet shooting one day at the gun club.
Yep,
And you
completely outside of Pittsburgh.
well, I mean, we got to get out of there eventually. It's pull, and then you're going up, and like you have the gun raised up to your whatever, and you take the shot, but that triggers a memory from someone in the hive mind for you, and we can establish that like you see it in the grounds or the woods that are outside of the manor, and it's hunting something, but something like it shoots an animal, but the animal dissolves into sand as soon as he like walks up to get his kill, and he's like, what the hell is going on? And then you see the sand like go up, and it goes through, the classic thing is through like its nostrils and its ears and its mouth and all of its open orifices, and goes and then that's how that person got inducted into the hive mind.
So at the end of day 3, I would actually see somebody die.
You would either have a flashback of it as you take that shot, or
that would be the flashback scene.
yeah, or you would go home that night and you would have that dream. Like maybe when you like shoot
I'd
it,
like to have it be so I like it, and if so, it triggers that scene plays out, and then I'm like a little crazy with the gun, and while somebody's doing their skeet shot, like I see it in the woods, so I take aim and fire real fast, and it's at nothing, but you guys start questioning me.
oh, I like that. That's cool.
Like I'm starting to mentally snap a little bit, but I'm just like, hey, I saw a rabbit. I thought it would be good eats. I missed. It's fine.
Good
bro.
eats.
It's fine. Rabbit tastes like chicken if you bread it right, so it's okay.
I like that. I like that setup.
Day 4 would just be the hunt, the skeet shoot trip, and the trip down and things like that.
Yeah, and we would also kind of pepper in other things that would happen during that time as well. At some point, I want it to be like a little. So we very clearly established, like in the extras scene or the extras day, that smoke and ash falls off of people who are infected with it and begins to like, and that's kind of how it spreads. I would love it to be an Easter egg for the rest of the movie that anywhere we go, when we meet a new person or get into a big group of people, if you watch closely enough, you can see like the sand particles falling out of like your jeans and stuff. Just a fun little thing
Depending
that shows
on who we meet, if they've been turned or not yet.
Yeah, I think that'd be a fun thing to do. So that would be day 4. Day 6 is when we go back to the house. So if I know we said we weren't going to do something every single day, but now we're looking at day 5. That's the only day that hasn't been accounted for, I guess.
So the day before would have been our break day. I'm starting to mentally go. So day 6 we could be setting up for the shoot. So day 6 is when we're going back for the shoot.
Yeah.
To like, is that the day that we're panning out shots and I get possessed, and then the next day is the shoot?
I think what happens, it doesn't make a lot of sense for us to be there that late, but it would be really cool to have like the shot of the big clock, and then like day 6 is ticking down, and we're like, you are getting led into the basement. All of us are getting led to different rooms by like all the scores of people that are now working as groundskeepers and butlers and other things because they've been infected already. And then like you look into the big pool of hive mind sand downstairs, and you're like, oh my god, we need to get out of here. And then you have that shot of like the clock hand going to midnight, and you get bong. Jane turns through the door and sees like what's it called, the curtains fluttering from an open window. Bong. Xander sees something, yada yada yada. And then on the very last bong, it's like you falling into the thing.
I would like, so
right at midnight is like when everything starts to go wrong.
So right before midnight, I turn to leave. I got to get out of here. I got to get the guys. I turn. Butler's there. You're not going anywhere. Push.
Spartan kicks you into the
I start
pit.
falling backwards. Bong. All the scenes play of you guys seeing stuff. What it would be cool is if like at the stroke of midnight, everybody who is a hive mind starts like revealing their eyes and things like that. So now you can tell that this is a house full of fucked. I feel like Jack would prepare himself immediately in his scene. Like his guy turns and he starts like grabbing things off the wall immediately. Chia and Xander kind of don't know what's going on and attempt to just get away. You're the one who establishes like the main shot of like the people turning in the beginning.
Mm.
And then the final shot, the last dong is me hitting the sand and it just like enveloping me from the splash.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just appear later on the final night as like the person who's trying to quote unquote help. At this point, it becomes Among Us.
Yeah. So then, what you're saying is,
We start off separated and we come together as a conglomerate at one point before people start dying off of the main group and people.
but what
You
you're
guys
saying
still
is
think I'm
we
helping?
we leave the house and then come back to shoot.
No, I'm saying
okay.
we're there. So it's not unrealistic for us to be somewhere later than we expected because that is
It's kind of
always the case.
That's true. We could also comment on how weird it is that there are 12 people here at like 11:30 at night.
Well, if we established that they took 80 or something like that from the freaking.
Yeah, but we don't need like 80 people there. You know, like those people are probably going and infecting other people.
That's fair.
They need missionaries.
So we need like a solid 20
Yeah, that's what they call me in
plus
high school.
Butler and the 20 plus Butler and Spirit thing.
Yeah, there's a score of people in the house. And so then that's when everything turns. What do we? It turns into a horror movie at that point. Do all of us
It
realize?
turns into it's that we recognize that we're in a horror movie now.
Mm-hmm. So then the next couple of scenes are going to be all of the gang trying to get back together and find each other. And I assume we find ourselves in one of the rooms of this house. We're like, "Where's Dice? Has anybody seen Dice?" Yada yada yada. How do we want to reintroduce you in like, I almost want to say like a quasi heroic way, or do you come back as like, "I am the ender of all things. Join
No,
me."
I would try to sell it. So I would easily. The hive mind's intelligent. It would want you guys to believe me. So it would willingly sacrifice one of its sand demons for us. So if we had that, you guys were like trapped in a room, and maybe on the 5th day we hired like bodyguard or security. 5th day we went and hired security for the establishment just because.
We could go down to like the local police department and be like, "Hey, we're doing this shoot here. So like, you know how for big events they need to have like a paramedic on site and a police officer and that kind of stuff? It could be something like that.
So
Why would we need security?
I was just trying to establish why we would have a bigger burly guy that's like, say you guys were able to fight off like the business tax guy or the guy who would
business
the audio
tax guy.
the audio guy,
The audio engineer
and stuff like that, and like because they were a little bit smaller and stuff. But why would I was thinking like this big like weightlifting outback guy just comes and has you guys trapped, and I'm able to take him out, and then you guys.
What if that guy you saw was the hunter from the flashback?
Also, the big guys he enjoys hunting.
Yeah, well, I mean, like that's
He
a
can
way.
have a rifle and everything too, and that's why you guys are running. You can't just barrel into this one. You have to actually like.
And that's it. And then, yeah, I like that. It ties back into the story a little bit, and you get a little. That way, the audience knows what to expect now, but we don't, and I like that as well. So you would save us from that person.
Yeah, I would essentially come in and just decapitate or do something to off the creature's hold over it and destroy the body, which could establish how you can kill it, possibly
Quote unquote,
kill it because we need the or is it ending?
Yeah.
But
So then you would have knowledge of all this stuff, and you'd be like, okay, here's what we have to do, yada 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 yada. Or you're
so
like,
the
we
5th
have.
day could be you guys trying to contact me to get in like everybody setting up stuff for this day for the 6th day where we all meet, and the 5th day I just go quiet and it's just shots of me like in bed freaking out, like those sweaty shots you get of things, and it just keeps cutting to you guys like his stupid fake voicemails. I hate this. And I'm like screaming in bed. Maybe one time I actually answer it, and it's like an Archer moment where you think it's another fake voicemail, so you just yell at me and hang up. And I'm just like having constant flashbacks because like I can set up maybe 4 or 5 predominant people's stories so that like they're threats, because we're gonna have to kill 3 more of you guys off.
Mm-hmm.
So if I kill one that we establish as a person with a backstory that plays somewhat of a part later, I feel like some visions should set that up. So day 5 could just be like me trying to learn things. So
And that would end with eventually they subside. Maybe you lose control of yourself for a little bit, and you call us at like 11 p.m. or really late on the 5th day, and your voice changes a little bit, and you're like, "Hey, I'm sorry about that, guys. I'll meet you there tomorrow." And we're like, "Well, yeah, that's great. We already did all the work for today, so thanks for that, I guess.
bye.
I'll be seeing you."
I'll be seeing you.
Click. I kind of like that. That would kind of establish that you've already turned, though.
It would establish that I'm being more. What I was trying to set up was more
Or-
of the why I would understand what to do without tipping you guys off.
Mm-hmm.
So I would like maybe at the end, instead of changing my voice or something, maybe I finally I lose consciousness for a while and I kind of blame it on drinking or something like that. And I'm like, I did it. I don't know what I was doing. I guess I drank, but
Mm-hmm.
when I woke up, I had all this stuff on my computer of like this freaking
Porn?
No, it is my favorite movie though. Uh, that is not our joke.
So I love that. I love the thought of you like convulsing and like drenched in sweat on your bed, and then like at the stroke of I like
I'm sorry.
Sorry,
porn at
no,
the
you're right.
stroke of-
at the stroke of midnight, your body like stops and just like lies limp, and we're like, "Holy shit, is Dice dead?" We cut back to us being like wrapping up for the day, and it's like, all right, yo, at this point we're gonna go over to Dice's house. We're gonna like actively look for him. We've had to do all of the work ourselves at this point, and that's when we get the call from you. And when it it cuts back to the next day when we're all driving to the shoot together, and you're like, "Yeah, I'm really sorry about that, y'all. I don't know what happened yesterday." And we're like, you've been working extra hard. Maybe when all of this starts happening, it looks like you're coming down with a cold or something. Where you're like, "Yeah, guys, I'm just really I'm really tired." Yada yada yada.
I'm
I don't know.
overworked. I'm overworked. I'm stressed. I'm overworked.
Overworked, underpaid.
Not
I don't
for
know. That's
renting a
something
mansion.
that's an option, but I think that it sets it up nicely.
It sets up me having I just finding a way to tell you guys like I had some weird shit on my computer. It was some kind of ancient things. I had no idea what I was talking. I had no idea what it said. I don't know why it was up.
Or you mentioned like headaches, like that you were starting to get headaches from when like the monster tries to take influence. You could just be like, "Sorry guys, I had a migraine like all day yesterday. I took a bunch of, pain meds and just stayed in bed all day and didn't do much of anything. And that's why you didn't answer the phone, because you had it off because the ringing would have hurt your head and stuff."
Okay.
So there's a couple of different excuses that we can play with.
But those are through the days. Now we're into the climax.
Yep, yada yada yada. Climax happens. You
Stroke of midnight has hit. You guys are now separate. How are we getting you together?
So do we want to have a fight scene happen then?
I feel like you guys would have to. I would like to establish that we can hold our own against these things. As with protagonist armor.
So then that's when we have the Kingsmen-esque scene of like everybody turning and then trying to subdue us, probably.
No, I still like that for just Xander. I think it's so funny if it's just Xander and Hypno dancing.
Okay, then
I think this would just be like, it would be survival instincts of you guys getting back your own way and like meeting in the main lobby somehow, or meeting in the kitchen somehow, and then the big hunter guy is blocking the basement door and I kill him from behind from the basement, and then try to get you guys to come with me.
Stroke of midnight turns. We all finish up what we're doing for the day, and we all meet back up in the main hall. I'm imagining like a big manor and shit. But we all meet up, and we're like, wow, everybody cleared out of here really quick, and you don't see like anybody, and it's just bone quiet. And then you hear like the chukung, chukung. We're like, oh, cool, Dice is coming back, and we're like, yo, hurry up, my dude. And then the big hunter guy breaks down the door, and he lets out a big roar, and he like fires a shot into the chandelier. It comes crashing down. We're cast into mostly darkness except for like some off lighting from other rooms. And that's when we have like we could throw in a Scooby Doo thing, essentially, where it's just us playing like a little bit of cat and mouse. We try the front door and we find that it's locked, and we're stuck in the house. We go around, we do the cat and mouse thing. We meet back up probably in the kitchen.
Okay.
We meet back up in the kitchen, and we're cornered. We can hear it coming. We're like, this is it.
Oh
I didn't think
so
it would end
what
like
if
this.
you bust into the kitchen and I'm just like standing there, almost Blair Witch style, but like doing something in the corner,
Mm-hmm.
and then when the monster comes in and just take the thing out, and then just like establish I've been waiting for them. I was like, I figured I'd hide out here until you guys found me. Blah 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 blah. I've taken out so many and lie.
So
Oh, that's a revelation face.
how do you make glass? How do you make glass?
You heat it up. You
heat
heat
up
up sand.
What if you create a Molotov cocktail and throw it on this thing, and as it's like burning, you can see it like almost begin crystallizing, and it's distracted enough that because like it all of a sudden can't move as much and it's on fire.
It's still hunching at you guys like mid swing, and then it finally crystallizes as like it's about to hit.
Mm-hmm. And then we're like, "What the hell is that?" And you're like, "Follow me," and that's how you get us all down into the basement.
I don't want to take you all down there yet. I don't.
You don't want that to happen until next
Should
day?
we kill you off? No, I mean we're in 7th day now.
Yeah.
So shouldn't I kill you? Shouldn't you guys die off one by one, or is everything aware? What I pictured is I would lead you around places to places where I know like these certain ones that I had flashbacks of are hiding, and that's how like you get taken out by one of the special ones before we quote unquote get rid of it, and then Jack gets taken out by another one. Like we're always just too late or too fast around the corners.
Then that scene happens. So okay, in that case, the hunter thing comes out. We all scatter, and we find ourselves being hunted by each one of those flashback people
Almost
that you
13 Ghost style, like shit.
haven't seen that, but sure.
Okay.
We do the exact same scene in the kitchen, except it's just you and Xander. And Xander is the last one, and you're like, quick, come to the basement. We're gonna, like, I think we can fix this. Or yada, 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 something like that. And that's, at that point, maybe, like, so we all get killed off by these things in whatever way is fitting for the flashbacks. Xander goes down and sees, the big giant pit, and maybe that's when you reveal your, like, true form over the sand pit, and the sand begins whipping around. He's like, ooh.
You've had a lot of personalities, Dice, but I gotta say this one doesn't fit you well.
Yeah, this one's kind of weird, and he just like backs up and like shuts the door, maybe with you still like all enveloped in stuff, and he begins walking back up the stairs. And then he not only fights the ghosts in that scene, but he also fights versions of us, or we all. So they see us die. It fights all of the beings. At the end, it fights you, and you showed it the weakness already of like
The
killing
Molotov.
it with so
Fire is the weakness.
yeah. So we establish somewhere that there's some other fire thing. Maybe there's like a gas.
A fire pit.
There's a big fireplace
I would
upstairs.
say it's a mansion. It's a fireplace.
That's how he kills you, quote unquote. And when he finally manages to run out the front door, all of us are already in the car, like, get in, get in, get in. And we like speed off, and we're like, dude, are you okay? He's like, yeah, what the? And we start like recounting the tales, and then that's the ending scene of, instead of we're up and still in the house, we're like driving away with him. And as we, all get out of the car, and we're like, well, I mean, that was a total bust. The ending scene is you see like the sand falling off of us and our eyes glowing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's a great way to keep it up, and we don't need an after credit scene.
I think the only other thing that we would really need to establish is why Xander can't be possessed.
I think it's just the fact that Xander found me, and I was the one who was looking to do it, and he just figured out a way to beat us. Like it's almost. I mean, we can't go true final girl trope because, I mean, of us, Xander is the purest, but it's not like he's the purest in all the ways of the final girl.
Mm-hmm.
None of us are virgins. None of us. Well, I want to say none of us do drugs because none of us do drugs, but I guess I had drinking, so I'm definitely not the purest. I'm the evil one in this goddamn case.
But I feel like Xander has to be pure enough for some reason
So
to not
maybe
be
it
able to
ties
be
into the
possessed.
creature's backstory. Maybe it was so maybe Xander reminds the creature of some. I mean, it's really cliche, but maybe the Xander reminds the creature of somebody. So whenever I go to
Oh.
attack, maybe the final boss me is also in complete combination with the spirit,
Mhm.
and it's like I go to do the final blow, and either my memory sparks because it's Xander, I can't do it because I haven't killed you guys personally. I've only gone after Xander. So it could be my memories of Xander and the Salty Crew that sparks it in the very, no, I love my friends moment. Or it could be Xander looks like somebody from the creature's past that actually halts the creature, even if I'm gung ho on doing it, which
Mhm.
I feel like me not being gung ho on doing it would make more sense.
I feel that way as well.
Yeah.
Like that your hesitation like is your final moment of fighting back before Xander can lob the Molotov and
And it just has memories play with like weird music in the background and stuff like that from
Mhm.
like I know you've never seen it, but it's a really bad movie, but like we can make a BS friendship song and it gives the monster like a quaking headache that makes it scream, and
Mhm.
Xander has enough time to like stab it with a flaming flagpole as the end of Hypno Dancer
Mhm.
plays.
Yeah, I like it. And then the after credit scene is kind of what we set up before.
No, I think just having you guys leave with him and then it's just me and the monster in the window instead of all four of us. And then you
Yeah,
guys drive off in the sand, and
the sand
the
reforms.
the after credit scene could be you guys getting to the parking space and be like, yeah, that was a bust, I guess, and really shitty about dice. How are we gonna tell? Blah blah blah. And Xander saying all that, and you guys get out, and it's like, no, I'm sure it'll be fine. Everything will be okay. You know, they always turn up. Sand.
They always turn up. Yeah, I think that's the movie.
I mean, the only thing we didn't establish is the creature's background and a couple of the. I essentially think of them as like Left for Dead spirits.
Yeah, I mean, we don't have to go into the specifics of how each spirit kills us, just because of time
Timing.
constraints at this point.
Yeah.
And what was the other thing I was gonna say? We don't have to establish the backstory of this, the beginning of the hive mind as much. If we focus on the reason that it doesn't kill Xander is because the actual dice, were fighting against it so much that it had this one effect that he could get away. Um,
It's that very cliche moment that the possessed thing who's been doing the bad shit the whole time finally has that spark of, no, my friends.
And we could easily set up that the hive mind began as just like an evil spirit that was buried underneath the house when it was built.
So we have, well, why would it be in an urn?
Yeah, that's fair.
The house was bent. Okay, so a little backstory on the house. The house was previously burnt down and mysteriously was rebuilt like 10 plus years ago. Nobody knew why. That's the mystery that draws us in. Why was this mansion magically rebuilt? Nobody has any recollection of like a building company or anything like that coming in to do it. So when it was incinerated and then it was reformed, it just formed with its original owner inside of the urn, or the spirit inside of the urn.
Sure.
There we go. So, did we hit our 5 things? We have the house. We have our final girl. How is man the ultimate monster?
Oh, we were gonna do that through the original OG
Ending.
hive mind guy.
Yeah.
Oh, dang it. Dang it, dang it,
Maybe
dang
the
it.
OG hive mind guy just like maybe the OG hive mind guy was like somebody who would just capture people and make like either use them as like
We could set it up as like a Frankenstein-esque castle manor on the hill that nobody goes up because they always say it's haunted and stuff. And then the original owner was this mad scientist, vivisectionist type person. Vivisection is dissection while the thing is still living.
okay. And then local people hear about his antics and things like that, go and burn down the mansion.
The original, yeah. And the original thing that he did, maybe he was specifically like a brain surgeon, and what he did was kept all of like these jars and jars of brains of all these people, and he was trying to come up with a way to create a collective thing. You know what I mean? Like he was trying to figure out how to make a hive mind. And when they burned it down, all of the jars and the brains just like collapsed, and he was burned up with it. And that's what forms like this original pit of ash. And then the butler.
Just sent a revenge, stereotypical revenge thing. It makes a deal with the devil, and now the house has been reborn, and it is its time. It had to serve so many years in hell, but now here's its chance again to rise and make its hive mind.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what I mean. Like
It wraps it up. I'm not
very
one.
it's very Freddy Krueger-ish, like fifth Freddy Krueger movie-ish, and like storytelling, but
Considering this is our first horror movie, whatever.
we're straining it to 2 episodes of a podcast, so
Yep, and we got the or is it ending, and we're gonna pepper in jump scares throughout the whole climax of the movie.
yeah, jump scares will be peppered in with not only comedy jump scares, but the alien killing the audio guy, the random choking off screen and stuff like that. Plus me, I could just make random appearances here and there to scare people. So yeah, jump scares are really easy to cover. I don't know if that maybe should have been a trope we immediately established.
It's easy to fit in though.
Yeah, it is.
So then the only thing we have to come up with is the title of the movie.
I don't want to call it Among Us. Salty Hive?
What if? No. You know how there's the horror movie 7?
Yeah.
What if it's just 5? We just call the movie 5.
And it has nothing to do with 7.
There's 5 of us.
Yeah, but it has 0 to do with 7. It has 0% to do with 7, but I like it. It just has 0% to do with 7. It has nothing to do with 7. That is about a killer who kills people based on sin.
Wow, spoilers.
I'm sorry, if you haven't seen 7 by now, you're bad at watching horror movies. Not to mention, I feel like 7's more of a thriller. Anyway, but that's the point. No, I like
Yep, we're calling it 5.
5.
Yep, because I decided it right now.
5 Nights of Salties.
But it's 7.
What?
But it's 7 nights.
What are you talking about?
The thing happens over the course of 7 days, not 5. You know what? We're gonna condense the 7 days down to 5 days. We're gonna call it 5 Nights at Salties.
5 Nights at Salties.
And all of the scenes are going to happen when it's dark out.
Yep. There you go. Really C-rated. Slap that fucking. Just slap that C movie title right on it.
But that's horror movies are
Horror
way
movies are
harder.
tough.
It was way harder to write that than Weekend at Salties.
Weekend at Salties was a lot easier, man.
It's easier to do just funny jokes.
Yeah.
But that was 5 Nights at Salties. We hope you all liked it. If you did like it, or if you didn't like it, you should still like the video because I want the
like
likes.
the video and then tell us where we could have done better. Constructive criticism is always the best route to take.
Absolutely. Also, subscribe if you haven't already. We're going to be releasing more spooky content throughout the month. And if you've missed any, feel free to go back and watch our Bean Boozled challenge.
Oh my God, the Bean Boozled challenge. Check out the collector review if you haven't so far. It's
Absolutely.
still my favorite horror movie.
And as always, stay salty.
Stay hydrated.
Thank you for supporting the channel. We love you much. Good night.
Love.
We'll be seeing you